Everything's okay. The next conversation that we're going to have is actually really interesting. I'm not going to waste any time because lots to talk about. Time Warner Comcast merger, Aereo lawsuit, net neutrality, so much going on. So we're actually going to bring on Ryan Lawler to interview the Comcast Cable CEO Neil Smit. Please welcome him.
So thanks for being with us.
My pleasure.
We have a lot to talk about. Presumably, a lot of the people in the audience are Time Warner Cable subscribers, so at some point, they'll hopefully be Comcast subscribers. For you, hopefully for you, why should they want to be Comcast subscribers?
Well, I think first, we've recently launched the X1 entertainment operating system. It's our video internet combination that has the functionality of the internet, such as search and recommendations, and sound-activated remote, and it enables our customers to go out and find their content and discover new content in a really fast, easy way. I think secondly, we'll be upping our broadband speeds. We've done 13 speed increases in the last 12 years, and we're investing heavily in the Wi-Fi network, which is what we announced last week, that we're going to be out to 8 million hotspots across the country by the end of the year.
Okay, but so for a company that really prides itself on innovation, though, last month you were voted the worst company in America for consumerists. So why is that? What's the disconnect there?
I think if there's one thing to disrupt in our business, it's customer service, and we're spending a lot of time using the innovation that we've applied on our other products and applying it to customer service now. So we, right now, for example, almost 50% of our installs are done self-installation. We mail the boxes, we make it simple and easy. We just launched a new app, My Account app, and it's kind of, why shouldn't you know when your tech's going to be there? Why shouldn't you know who they look like, and why should you wait for all day for an appointment? It should be within an hour or two. And
so you're changing all that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's my top priority, by the way.
Okay.
I think we really need to transform customer service.
Okay. It seems like you've yet to get any approvals. You've submitted briefs to the FCC, but it seems like to a lot of people, it's like a foregone conclusion that this deal is going to go through, the Time Warner Cable acquisition. Do you feel like that?
No, I think we've obviously got to go through DOJ and the FCC, and we think it's a great value proposition to the customers. We don't compete with Time Warner Cable in any market, so we're not eliminating a competitor, and we think that we can bring great new products and services to the customers in those markets.
So you think that there's a chance this deal could get turned down? I never care to, or I never know which way the government's going, so we'll just let the process play itself out. Okay. Assuming it doesn't go through, like where does your growth come from? Are you betting on this?
No, we have a lot of great organic growth. Our business services business, which provides services to small and medium businesses, is growing at about 25% a quarter, and it's fantastic. We have 1.5 million customers, small businesses, and we're giving them greater speeds, greater telephony products, and so we've got a lot of growth in the broadband business. We keep investing in speed and capacity and Wi-Fi, and so we see other avenues for growth. I think advertising is another area.
Okay. When you submitted the brief to the FCC, one of the interesting things I thought was that you mentioned the competitive landscape. You laid it out, and you mentioned competitors like Google and Facebook and Apple, and I think to a lot of people here in the audience, they wouldn't appear as natural competitors to a company like Comcast.
Well, I think in the video space, the landscape is changing daily. I think there are new players. Amazon launched Fire, Apple with iTunes, Google with YouTube, and so I think everyone's kind of settling into the space here. I mean, Netflix has 33 million subscribers nationally, and they've got a great product, and they're bringing the product to the customers in different ways. So we feel we have to innovate to succeed and bring the customers better product every day.
Okay. Well, you are actually getting rid of some of the subscribers in Time Warner Cable, spinning off some of them, to remain below 30% video subscribers, but you will have more than 50% of the homes passed for broadband in the US. Is that correct?
Well, I think the number is a little less than that. I think it's closer to 40%. But if you include wireless, which I think I certainly would, I use my wireless device for data, all day long, then it would be less than 20%. So of the broadband market, it would be less than 20% if you include wireless.
So you're saying, people like AT&T, Verizon that are actually doing like LTE or 4G
right.
or whatever.
Right.
Actually, that's interesting. So at some point, does mobile broadband take over? I mean, do you just not even need that pipe into your house? And if so, what happens to Comcast?
Yeah, I think it'll always be a combination of fixed and wireless. And that's one of the things we're building out our Wi-Fi network. We'll have 8 million hotspots by the end of the year, and we think that's a very good asset and opens up other opportunities. Like Xfinity Home, the product we launched, that can control your lights and your heat and your security system was launched over our Wi-Fi network. And I think, as a platform, I'd encourage anyone in the room here to partner with us and look to partnering with us to bring great new applications to that Wi-Fi network. When you've got 6 devices and hanging off the network in the house now, and it continues to grow.
Okay, so let's talk about Netflix. You guys have had kind of a back and forth. There was like a Netflix blog post or Netflix investor letter, and then you did a blog post in response, and then they did a blog post in response, and then you did another blog post. What's happening there? What's that all about?
Well, Reed's full of surprises. I think, at the end of the day, as far as we can tell, they did an interconnect agreement directly with us. We have thousands of these types of agreements, and it was a win-win-win. I think from our perspective, it was a win because the throughput was higher on the network. From their perspective, as far as we can tell, they reduced costs significantly. They are beating Netflix, and the customer got better service. So, we feel it was a good outcome for all parties.
Yeah, I mean, you could see the traffic, the speeds go like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But is that a good thing? I mean, should they have to directly connect with you to?
I think that, they have various ways they can connect into our network, various paths. They had Cogent as one path, and I think appearing direct or interconnecting directly with us was more efficient for them. So, we have these kinds of agreements with thousands of other major players, if you were to name them, and it seems to work pretty well.
Okay. In the blog post, you said Netflix's argument was a house of cards, which I thought was a nice dig. What's your favorite Netflix show? Are you a House of Cards fan?
I am a House of Cards fan. Yeah.
Okay. But you go on to suggest that Netflix basically knowingly used kind of a crappy transit provider and that the problem was that they were not doing the best service to their customers. That was the implication, it seemed.
I think at the end of the day, it's just business. They have a couple big costs, content costs and transport costs, and I think Netflix is working on reducing transit costs, and that's business.
Okay. Why is paid peering such a big deal right now? Is it just because they're making a lot of noise about it?
I think they and some other players are making more noise about it. I think it's surprising to me, actually, because the dollars we're talking about here are relatively immaterial, and I think people are confusing net neutrality with peering, and we've signed up. We're probably the biggest advocates of net neutrality. We signed up for the Open Internet Order voluntarily 4 years ago, and so we've been living under that regime since then, and it hasn't affected the way we do business. And if you think about it a little bit, why would we want to do anything with anyone's internet experience besides give them a great, fast, reliable service? I mean, we're in the subscription business. We make money off of selling people better products, and anything that gets in the way of that, I don't think is ethical.
Okay, so let's talk about net neutrality because you brought it up. How do you feel about the new FCC rules? You don't have to operate under the NBC Universal merger agreement, but what do you think about this idea of what they're sort of floating?
I think it's early to tell. I think there's a lot of water under the bridge between here and there, and we are abiding by the net neutrality rules now, and I think it'll take time for it to sort itself out. But I think we're in constructive dialogue with the FCC, and I think we have a good relationship.
So I mean, under these rules, as they've been put forward or talked about, they actually haven't been issued, the proposal. But there's an idea where big companies can pay an ISP for preferential treatment of their content. Is that a good thing for the internet?
I think it's got to be good for the consumer, and if it's not good for the consumer, then we shouldn't be doing it. And our sole focus is bringing better product to the consumer and innovating there all the time. And so, whether it's good or not for the consumer, I think remains to be seen. But until then, we'll operate under our order.
Okay. Is it good for innovation, though?
I don't know. So congratulations to people with products on the floor. I thought there was just some great innovations there and things that we'd like to talk about. I go out to Silicon Valley every 3-4 weeks with the CTO and head of business development. We talk to people about innovations and things that could help build our experience. I mean, we have on the X1 platform, we have Facebook and Pandora and Twitter and Rotten Tomatoes and a number of different apps integrated into the experience. And so I think if we keep the platform as open as possible and work together with partners, we've got, it's a winning solution.
How open do you want that API to be? Because I mean, it makes sense for Pandora or Facebook to be there, but
I think it depends on the product and the service. But certainly, we wrote the reference design kit, RDK, upon which IP video is being built, and I think we have 110 partners worldwide. So, that base code is very important. And we did on the X1 platform last year 4,000 updates. So it's interesting how the company is transitioning from a kind of a functional cable company into a true technology company. We're running software. And the way we think, I was at AOL in the early days, and I find myself thinking more along those lines than as a cable operator. So it's evolving. We do a lot of sprint teams and DevOps work, and it's really changed the way the company operates.
What do you think about Aereo?
I don't know. We'll see what the Supreme Court thinks.
Well, what do you think?
I think. We pay $9 billion a year for content, and and it's great content, and we built X1 so that people could find their way to the content in the easiest manner possible, and discover new content along the way. So I think, one of the things that I question in the Aereo solution is, are they paying for content, and that content, the spend on that content has to come from somewhere.
But presumably, if Aereo is allowed to continue to exist, you could just do the same thing. You just put your own antenna arrays in all of the major metros where you work, right? And cut out that cost.
Quite that simple, but presumably you could. And
or at least go back to CBS or ABC and say, well, they're getting it for free, so why should we have to pay you?
Yeah, well, remember, we're in the content side as well as the distribution side. So I think what we've found with programmers, the most constructive conversations we have now are, let's take a piece of your content, let's get it out over X1, let's get full current season right so we can, people can go back and see episodes they haven't seen before. Let's work on advertising. We just bought Freewheel, which does dynamic digital video ad serving across any platform, and so we're trying to bring more value to the equation and partner with programmers more. There's a market price for content, and so my assumption is we got to make the most of that.
Okay. When you think about things like Freewheel and the ability to serve ads, can you improve the ad experience for just linear TV? Because it seems horrible that I get served a whole bunch of ads that just aren't relevant to me.
Yeah, so we've got a number of
because
technologies.
Everyone else wants a car. I don't.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure.
So we have different technologies. We have dynamic ad insertion that we built together with some other MSOs that lets you insert an ad into on-demand content, pre, post, mid-roll, wherever you want. We have Freewheel, which serves up the ads across multiple platforms. We have Strata, that's a buyer's tool. And we have a directed addressable linear, so you can show a specific ad to a specific household. So we have all these technologies, and we're working with teams to better. A lot of these are startup acquisitions we bought, and then we integrated into the business. And we've done a lot of that over the years. And I think there's great opportunity there to have more targeted ads.
So backstage, we were talking about how you should get me connected. I'm a broadband only subscriber. I am a Comcast subscriber, but I just do broadband. And one of the reasons that I do that is because I have my family's Comcast account. What do you do for people like me who don't feel like paying for the video side of the business, or you have leakage on the Comcast username or whatever?
Well, I think a few things. One is we've come out with slimmed down packages where there's one that we have called Internet Plus that has 50 megabits of speed, a broadcast element, and HBO, and that's done very well. It's low priced and it's targeted at the millennials. The other thing we just recently launched was a university program where we have a bulk deal with the university, and we bring our fiber up to theirs.
You basically try to get them hooked in college.
Yeah, well, yeah. Okay. I've got a kid in college, and they can stream right to their laptops. So you're getting the content to them when they want to see it, where they want to see it, and that's a lot about TV Everywhere is all about. We've developed some great apps. I think our apps have been downloaded 19 million times, and it's the best video playing app rated on iTunes out there.
So earlier this year, there's a report that you guys were in talks with Apple about some sort of weird cloud streaming service. What was that about?
Well, a lot of rumors out there. We have a good partnership with Apple. We have apps all over their iOS platform, and but I don't think there's anything further to say at this time.
Okay. But would that be just like a Comcast app on Apple TV, or would that be an Apple service that would stream over Comcast?
I'm probably not going to go down the path.
I got to try. HBO just did a deal with Amazon. What do you think about that?
Well, I think everyone's playing with different windows. You've seen the windows of when content streams move around quite a bit, and what's library content used for, and across what platforms. Listen, I think there's more competition in the space. I think it helps everybody pick up their game, and the consumer wins. So, we launched a product about 6 months ago called EST, Electronic Sell-Through, where you can click and buy a movie and keep it up in the cloud for whenever or wherever you want to see it, and it's gone gangbusters. We announced a deal with MGM Studios. We've got 6 studios now, and it was just an idea that came out of NBC. Can you build this? And so I think that there's going to be, content's going to be delivered to different segments in different manners, and we feel we have to, get out and lead the space and really innovate.
But HBO is a big selling point for you guys, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, if you have that content somewhere else, isn't that? So, I mean, if I can watch 6 Feet Under on Amazon, why do I pay for Comcast and HBO Go?
Well, hopefully we provide you more services and more content and a better way to get to your content. We think we have the biggest library of content, and both live and library of anywhere. We've got 55,000 VOD choices and 300,000 online choices. So. And I think we're working with partners well too. We did a See It project where we're tweeting a show can drive viewership of the show, and that was very successful. So we're looking for ways to partner to make it a better overall entertainment experience.
I mean, given the apps that you have right now, and given the number of things that are that are streamed, presumably, if you wanted to, tomorrow, you could just flip a switch and anyone could become a Comcast subscriber, whether they're, in a Comcast neighborhood or not, right?
Well, there are rights issues with the programmers. I mean, generally speaking, the rights are within our franchise territory, but we do get rights for TV everywhere on some content, and there are limitations on it. But we've got a great app. Has 50 live streams, 2,500 on demand, and the usage has just been terrific on it. And the first time it was kind of one of these unusual experiences. I was watching a sports game, and then I had to run and go pick up a kid, and I hopped in the car and I clicked on my iPhone, and there was the game live, and it's just fantastic. And I think things have evolved so quickly, and we're just looking for more opportunities to partner and do more things like that.
So why hasn't anyone done true over-the-top, content subscription streaming? Dish is talking about it.
Yeah.
I believe. Dish or DirecTV.
Well, I think it's a tough business model. I mean, content's expensive, and I think Netflix has done a great job selecting their content, but content's expensive, and getting the right content to the right audience is art.
Is there some sense that this is like mutually assured self-destruction? Like once Dish hits that switch and sends everything over the top, then everyone else is going to try to do it, and everybody gets screwed? No,
I don't think it's that way at all. I think it's. I think there are going to be different models that seek out different solutions, and we'll see how they evolve. I don't think it's going to be one cataclysmic event. I think there'll be different packaging variances, and the product will evolve to become more personalized, the experience, and more mobile. But I don't think that it's going to one event's going to kick off the whole rainstorm. Okay, excellent. Well, good luck with your acquisition and making all these people Comcast subscribers sometime. All right, thanks, folks. Thanks a lot.